Hello and welcome to Mark Out Moments. I'm Dave in the RC, and we are here today to discuss SummerSlam 2026 live from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We'll do this again tomorrow, but tonight we're going to hit up today we're going to hit up the night one card. So we're going to talk about night one SummerSlam, everything leading up to it, and why I'm just not sold on anything WWE right now, and that's coming from a hardcore, lifelong WWE fan. I am not digging what TKO has given us. I don't know if Triple H is handcuffed or what, because when he was in charge of NXT, the black and gold, it was some of the best stuff out there. And what I'm seeing on the main brand for both WWE Raw and SmackDown is pretty bad. So not liking it at all. Not a fan. A lot of complaints. We haven't even done one of the pre-shows in quite a while, probably since WrestleMania. WrestleMania Night 1 was a huge letdown for me. I thought Night 2 was much better. But at some point, WWE's got to figure out that us wrestling fans actually want to see wrestling matches and less commercials and filler bullshit. So will tonight be any different? Not holding out hope. You got 6 hours over the course of 2 nights. SummerSlam Night 1, SummerSlam Night 2. They're giving us 12 matches. So 6 matches each night in a 3-hour time period. So the way it's been recently, I'm guessing if that over the course of that 3 hours, we're going to get an hour and 20 minutes of matches, maybe, and an hour and 40 minutes of filler crap and commercials. I hope I'm wrong, but it's not looking good. But let's get it started. We got SummerSlam Night 1. Let me pop up my stuff here. SummerSlam, Minnesota. Nothing screams summer to me like Minnesota. I miss Bash at the Beach. Remember Bash at the Beach 1995? Hulk Hogan versus Vader live on the beach. That was pretty cool. I don't know how you do it now. I mean, WWE obviously wouldn't do it at all because they can't sell tickets to it the way they want. But my God. SummerSlam, Minnesota, I think they're expecting right now, last I checked, somewhere around 37,000 people. Not good, considering we're looking at a 70,000 seat stadium. So it might be half full. And that's if you're including or not including the seats on the floor level, because a lot of those seats are going to be on the floor level where the ring is. But at some point, TKO's got to figure out, hey man, maybe prices are way too steep, and then okay, we're gonna lower the prices a little bit. We're gonna wait 2 weeks out. Well, that's not going to bring in your outside traffic to SummerSlam. People that need to fly to Minneapolis, they need to go ahead and book that stuff prior. So maybe start with tickets that aren't just completely astronomical. I mean, it's not like you're going to some kind of mega star-studded event. I mean, this is pro wrestling. A lot of the fans that are going to travel to this stuff aren't millionaires and, don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. This is family-oriented type stuff. So reel that in. I mean, my buddy Justin used to go to a lot of the big pay-per-views and sit front row, and I thought it was crazy that he was paying, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Now you're talking $25,000, $30,000. Who's paying that? That's ridiculous. So, you want more people to be in the stands. Obviously, I mean, I think that they're shooting themselves in the foot because a lot of these cities, they're not going to pay the asking price to get these events there because you say, okay, we sold 35,000 tickets each night. That's not 70,000 people there. That's 35,000 people there going twice. So, and that doesn't include the local economy, the people that live there. But I mean, if you want to draw 70,000 fans in, you need to reel in the price a little bit. Get your money from the cities to host these events, and not just absolutely kill people with the price of trying to even get into these events themselves. I mean, get them in the door, they'll buy merch. So reel it in some. But here we go, SummerSlam. It's going to be on ESPN Unlimited here in the United States. I have ESPN Unlimited. I love it. I bought it as soon as it was announced that WWE was moving to ESPN Unlimited. But I also am a huge sports fan, so I can use it to watch all sorts of ACC football, ACC basketball. You know, if you know me, you know I'm a big Florida State fan, so that helps to have that. And I mean, there's just a million games on all the time on ESPN Unlimited. So even if you're not a pro wrestling fan, it's worth it to me. But having WWE on ESPN just makes it that much better. So let's get started. Night one. I think that I've read the opening match. I don't know if it's going to be on ESPN. I'm pretty sure there's going to be simulcast. The first hour is going to be simulcast on ESPN like it always is. Match one that I've heard is for the Women's World Championship. Your champion, Liv Morgan, faces off against the 2026 Queen of the Ring, Io Sky. These two met last month in Saudi. Io Sky picked up the victory. A lot of people unhappy with the fact that Liv Morgan won the women's championship at WrestleMania, defeating Stephanie Vaquer. Over 100 days now, she has not defended that title on television one time. So I'm sure, you know, at house shows or WWE live events or whatever, she's been in matches, but she's mainly just television filler, and I'm not digging it. I don't need somebody to wrestle and have their title on the line every week on Monday Night Raw or on Friday Night SmackDown, whatever the case may be. But at some point, you need to showcase your people. And I like Liv Morgan. I mean, I think she's a good talent. I think she's obviously very good looking. I think there's money there. But at some point, it's World Wrestling Entertainment. There needs to be some wrestling on these cards. I didn't even bother watching Monday Night Raw this past Monday. Now, in my younger years, that'd be foolish to even ask me, like, did you watch Raw? Of course I watched Raw. These days, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched SmackDown. Sure didn't watch it last night. I decided to go on the boat with the wife instead. But, excuse me. We got to have matches. There needs to be some matches. There is so much talk and so much filler and so many commercial breaks. What are we doing? And don't get me even started on Julia getting defeated in 2 minutes in a match against the Lash Legend. What are we doing? But we'll get to that tomorrow. But Liv Morgan, obviously, she's wrestled Io Sky. She wrestled in the Queen of the Ring tournament, made it to the championship in Saudi, lost to Io Sky. Io Sky is your number one contender. I don't see Io Sky winning this match. I like Io Sky. I think she's probably the best women's wrestler on the roster. I'm also a huge fan of Stephanie Vaquer. Love Rhea Ripley, but I'm kind of getting Rhea fatigue, kind of the way people did with Charlotte. You know, during the Vince McMahon run, as you know, Charlotte being in there, we got a lot of Charlotte fatigue. At some point, you need to see people chase. I also like Rhea better as a heel than as a face. But Io Sky, Liv Morgan, I'd like to see them get good time to put on a good match, especially if this match is going to be simulcast on ESPN and is opening the show. They need to have a burner here. And I know they both can bring it. You know, Liv Morgan's not known for her 5-star classics, but there's no doubt in my mind that Liv can bring it in the ring. So I want to see these two burn it down and just have a great match. I don't care who wins. It's, you know, I'm not rooting one way or the other. If Liv Morgan wins and they're going to showcase her and actually have her defend the title from time to time and put an emphasis on that women's championship, which I think they should, Uh, I'm okay with that. If Io Sky wins and then has a feud with some of the other members of Judgment Day or whatever the case may be, there's a lot there. We saw Raquel Rodriguez won the Intercontinental Championship on Monday. So at some point, you have to think Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan are going to be headed towards a match with each other. It's got to come at some point. But I think I have to go with, I think Liv Morgan picks up the victory, especially since she got beat at Queen of the Ring against Io Sky. Our Bet US odds for this match have Liv Morgan at minus 175 as the favorite and Io Sky at plus 130. So if you don't know how betting works, we tell you this all the time. So if you bet Liv Morgan to win, you have to bet $175 to win 100. If you think Io Sky wins, you bet $100, and she were to win, you'd win $130. So that's how that works. Liv Morgan minus 175, Io plus 130. Like I said, I think I'm going to go with Liv Morgan to retain. And I just see somehow, some way, she's going to be on a collision course with Raquel Rodriguez. And at some point, I mean, Judgment Day has been around for quite a while now. You would have to think that at some point it's going to wind down, especially since now it's more women heavy as a group. I mean, your only two men left in Judgment Day are JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio seemed to be getting pushed to the stars just a year ago. WrestleMania, he won the Intercontinental Championship. Held the Intercontinental Championship for quite a while, lost it to John Cena, defeated John Cena right before his last match, got it back, lost it to Penta earlier this year, and has been pushed down the card, and you hardly ever see him wrestle. So he is the mega champion of AAA. Don't know for how long, or you would have to think that he's on a collision course with El Grande Americano for that title, having turned on him recently there. But with the loss of Finn Balor, the loss of Damian Priest, Judgment Day just seems there. But my God, Triple H loves him some Judgment Day. I don't know what it is, but he loves him some Liv Morgan, and she's featured on all his shows, but she sure as shit isn't wrestling. So let's get there. Let's actually get some wrestling in. And you can still build storylines, but have actual wrestling from time to time. And especially on the PLEs. I would much prefer more wrestling over all the other filler on PLEs than what we're getting, because WrestleMania disgusted me. Match 2. I don't know if this is match 2 on the card. I haven't looked up the card in terms of match orders, but match 2, we got a six-man tag. We have the Usos and Jacob Fatu versus Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is wow. If you'd have asked me a year ago where I thought Solo Sikoa would be, not this, but if you'd have asked me a couple years ago, I thought Solo Sikoa would be the next big thing in wrestling, especially when he was the silent partner in the bloodline there. It really looked like they were building him up for something big. The MFT stuff with his new bloodline it didn't work out. Haku came back last night, so there's that. But Solo has moved on from the MFTs. He's now with LA Knight and Royce Keys. They're facing off against Jacob Fatu and the Usos. And let's see, our odds for this are the Usos and Fatu are minus 300. So you'd have to bet $300 to win $100 on them winning. Knight, Solo, and Royce Keys are plus 200. So, I mean, I think the Usos pick up the win. But over who? Does WWE want to have them pick it up over Solo? With him being red hot right now, the fans are really gravitating towards him. But, I mean, it kind of seems like if you get over with the fans on your own, WWE doesn't like that. Case in point, LA Knight. How has LA Knight been so over for the last 3 years, and WWE has done absolutely zero with him? He was also in a 6-man tag at WrestleMania. he did pick up the victory in that tag with the Usos as his partner over the Vision and I Show Speed. But it was a quick match, celebrity involvement, big bump from I Show Speed to do some crazy stuff before Logan Paul turned on him. Unfortunately, Logan Paul got hurt, but I don't know. This is our first PLE with Royce Keys on it. The former powerhouse Hobbs in AEW. Good dude. I got to spend time with him last year up in St. Louis when AEW was there. Apparently, he's been doing a lot of dark matches for WWE, and he said he wanted to learn the WWE style. So he obviously showed up at Royal Rumble, and then we didn't see him again for a while. But he's now there. There's something going on. So who gets pinned? Is it they're going to go ahead and pin Royce Keys, the new face there, or is it going to be LA Knight or Solo? I would have to think the way WWE treats LA Knight, you would have to think Jacob Fatu or probably Jey Uso is going to be picking up the victory over LA Knight. If I was betting on it, LA Knight's getting pinned once again. I don't get it. I really, really thought that WWE would be very exciting once Triple H took over, because the last couple years of Vince McMahon being in charge, it was bad. It was not good at all. And I would have to say probably since, I'd say the last 10 plus years of Vince McMahon was just kind of, nothing great to me. Didn't really stick out. You had some moments that were great, but I don't know. I'm not hopped up on Triple H at all right now. They've got to do something. At some point, you're looking at ratings. You're looking at the attendance. Yes, we talked the attendance. Ticket prices are stupid. They got to fix it. But, maybe it's time to get away from this bloodline thing. People are kind of growing tired of it. You think about it, the bloodline has now outlived the New World Order. So what are we doing? Solo Sikoa is, can they trust him? Will he turn on them and go back to the bloodline? Obviously WWE has to think, man, there's some money there with Solo Sikoa. Do we want him? Do we want to push him and feature him? At some point, you've got to get some of these younger superstars in there, because Roman, Cody, Seth, Punk, Brock, they're all over the age of 40. Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, all these guys are over the age of 40. You got to start looking towards the future. You have people like Braun Breaker, who's not on the SummerSlam card at all. What are we doing? How do you have 12 matches on a PLE and there's no Braun Breaker? Because Braun Breaker and Obafemi, if you have half a brain, there's your future of the WWE right there. If you don't think those two are going to be on collision course with each other over the course of the next few years, I don't know what we're thinking, but if I'm Braun Breaker, I'm not real happy with what's going on right now, and I want some answers. Match 3, this is one I'm really looking forward to. Gunther and Nick Aldis. Now, I don't know how many people in WWE land are very familiar with Nick Aldis and his run in TNA as Magnus, or to me, his run with the NWA as Nick Aldis, because he is a multiple-time TNA champion. He's a multiple-time NWA champion. And Nick Aldis is incredible. The fact that he's been in WWE now for 3+ years and hasn't wrestled once is mind-blowing, because he could go. And a lot of people probably know that the first real, technically wasn't AEW, but the first big event that was put on and sold out in Chicago, Cody Rhodes headlined that match, or headlined that card with Nick Aldis. It was All In or something like that. They went all in. Cody Rhodes defeated Nick Aldis to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and then dropped the belt back in a best 2 out of 3 against Nick Aldis a few months down the line. But Nick Aldis and the NWA were doing some great things. The NWA was being shown on YouTube. Their television show Power, or I guess their YouTube show NWA Power, was on YouTube. And that's where you started to see the Camille and Nick Aldis. Thunder Rosa, that's where Thunder Rosa started to get some notoriety and some fame there on NWA Power. That's when I noticed Thunder Rosa and became a huge Thunder Rosa fan. Nick Aldis has it. He can go. So he had some matches in the NWA that were incredible. He obviously had a run in TNA. That was great. WWE brought him in, and they've put him in an authority figure as the SmackDown general manager, and he's done great with that. But I'm really hoping Nick Aldis has a good showing tonight against Gunther here at SummerSlam. And maybe we get some more Nick Aldis in the future. Now, he also was another one he's 40, so he's getting up there in age. So the time is now. If you're going to utilize Nick Aldis, you have him for a couple more years, and they want to get him out of that authority figure role and as a wrestler, it would work. And in WWE, Nick Aldis is a face. But Nick Aldis was a heel for much of his runs, especially in the NWA, and he's incredible. Now, I could see Nick Aldis as an authority figure heel that, kind of pushes himself up the card some. That would work to me. But I don't trust anything WWE's doing right now. I need them to grab me and bring me back, because I am so just burnt out and turned off of everything that we're getting that I need more. I need to fall in love with WWE again, because it's turning me away. I didn't watch the Clash in Italy. I was actually traveling that day. They had it on at the airport on ESPN, the first couple of matches before I got on the airplane, but I never even bothered going back and rewatching it. The King and Queen of the Ring was also during the middle of the day, and didn't watch that either. So the fact that I haven't even watched a WWE PLE, so we had WrestleMania, I actually went to Backlash in Tampa, haven't watched one since. So SummerSlam tonight will be the first time I've watched a PLE since May. That's unheard of. Your favorites for this match, Gunther is a huge favorite, which I don't see them. I don't see Nick Aldis beating Gunther. I just hope that they give Nick Aldis the time and let him show what he can do in the ring. And this isn't just he gets a couple shots in and Gunther dominates. I'd like to see Nick Aldis. Matthew Elvis Presley's here. What's up, buddy? Nick Aldis deserves time to work in the ring. And I think he and Gunther could probably have the match of the night if they allow it. Gunther is minus 1,600 favorite. Nick Aldis plus 600. You can bet $100 on Nick Aldis to win. If he wins, you win $600. I'd love it, but just don't think so. See, Matthew Elvis Presley's with me. Nick needs to show what he can do. Nick, like I was telling everybody here, Matthew, Nick Aldis can go. When he was in NWA, he was incredible. He had a couple of matches with Cody Rhodes. He lost to Cody, then beat Cody, won the title back. Nick Aldis is a bona fide top superstar. And he's been right there in WWE for 3 years, and they haven't even used him for anything other than authority figure on TV. And he's better than that. And I mean, I know he's happy. He's got to be enjoying it. I'm sure it's a great payday, but you would think wrestlers want to wrestle. And Nick Aldis can wrestle with the best of them. So he is one that, to a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of WWF people or WWE people haven't seen Nick Aldis in the ring. If they let him do his thing tonight, you'll be pleasantly surprised at what Nick Aldis can do. Our next match 4 of the night, another 6-man, or I guess you could say 6-woman here. I don't know why they would do a 6-man or two different 6-man tag matches on the same night. I would have thrown this one to the second night maybe. But Fatal Influence versus the Bella Twins and Paige. Fatal Influence, new. JC Jane, Fallon Henley, Laney Reed. They're new to the main roster here. They were big time in NXT. And I think if they use them right, Fatal Influence could be great here on the main roster as well. JC Jane is a hell of a talent. Fatal Influence already has the WWE Tag Team, the Women's Tag Team Championship. So let's talk about that real quick. Why not have a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match? It's SummerSlam. The Bella Twins are back. Paige could be on the outside. You could have Fatal Influence versus the Bella Twins for the titles. I mean, I don't know if this is it, but is this where the Bella Twins turn on Paige, or does Paige turn on the Bella Twins? You know, maybe you could see Paige turn on the Bella Twins and she goes to Fatal Influence. They could have a fourth member. But JC Jane, I think, is going to be, you know, if she's used right, she could be a mega star in WWE. A lot of women's wrestling in WWE, and I think they did it a few years ago under Vince McMahon. They had one last year, the Women's Evolution pay-per-view, or PLE, excuse me. Kind of surprised we're not getting one this year. That match between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley last year at Evolution, where they wrestled for the women's championship. What a match. What a match. So that's something that I'd like to see. Obviously, when you have a lot of these pay-per-view cards, and the way Triple H does them, he doesn't like to have matches on the pay-per-view cards, the PLE cards. So a lot of people just don't get matches. So you're getting, over the course of 3 nights, we've got 12 matches. You get 3 women's matches and 9 men's matches. So there's got to be, at some point, I wouldn't mind seeing a women's only show. I don't know if that would be something that would sell on, you know, that WWE could put on USA or on, you know, network television or even Netflix or something like that. But use that YouTube channel. Build up that YouTube channel. Put some of these matches on YouTube. I watched AAA on YouTube, and it's incredible. But yeah, I agree with Matthew. SummerSlam lost some of the appeal since beginning days? I think it has. I mean, they're trying to build up SummerSlam now as the second biggest, you know, weekend of the year, but PLEs are losing it under Triple H's leadership. And I think a lot of it starts with the lack of matches on the cards. You know, you didn't see as many advertisements and stuff when it was still on Peacock. But there hasn't been anybody that has come out and said, since WWE moved their PLEs to ESPN, nobody has come out and said, my God, what an incredible card. This is something that you can't miss. Royal Rumble this year in Saudi was a huge letdown. WrestleMania was ass. And no, I mean, I think there was 5 matches at the 3-hour show I was at in Tampa for Backlash. And it's just more the entrances and the commercials and the backstage filler and the Danhausen segments are they're just overtaking everything, and they're losing the wrestling. Now, I am admittedly not a big AEW fan, but at least they're giving you wrestling. So AEW pay-per-view cards are too long for me, but it is wrestling after wrestling after wrestling after wrestling, and they're doing that right. Now, maybe some of the matches aren't my style, but give us wrestling. We want to watch wrestling. I remember, you know, one of my favorite WrestleManias, WrestleMania 5, WrestleMania 6. Those things had like 14 matches on it. That's a 3-hour card. Now, yeah, we don't need a 4-minute match between Coco Beware and the model Rick Martel, but there's no reason why you can't have 7 or 8 matches on a 3-hour pay-per-view. And you can still have your commercials, because in the new day and age, we're getting commercials. But you can still have commercials. So there was so many commercial breaks, and it just killed me at WrestleMania. They were the same commercials over and over and over. And when you're at a PLE, we don't need backstage segments. I don't need long, drawn-out bullcrap. Let's get the action in the ring, and let's have some matches. You can easily have a handful of 20-minute matches, a handful of 15-minute matches, a handful of 8 to 10-minute matches to give us some action in the ring. Like, I don't expect Fatal Influence and the Bella Twins and Paige to go out and have a 30-minute classic. But if this is a 10-minute match on a 3-hour card that's only got 6 matches, because there's no way this match goes over 15 minutes. So what are you doing with all the other allotted time? Because if you think about it, 6 matches, 3 hours, 30 minutes per. And that should include your walkout, with your entrances, the outros of the match itself. You should be getting 30 minutes per. That's not going to happen. Yeah, SummerSlam 1, Mega Powers and Mega Bucks. Fatal Influence is your favorite. I think they win. So somebody's got to turn. I don't know if it'll be tonight. It may be the start of the turn, but I think Fatal Influence wins. They need to keep presenting them as a powerful force, especially JC Jane, if she's going to have any kind of future in the upper echelon of the card. Fatal Influence is -150 favorite. Bella's and Paige +110. So there's not a lot of leeway there. That's kind of a pick 'em. Now, I think the match that everybody's looking forward to most, Hell in a Cell, Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. This right here is what WWE does so well. And that's when they really have something that people are interested in and they're really invested in, they can give you something crazy. These two got their start at the Royal Rumble in Saudi. Obafemi came in, did a great job showing off his strength and showcasing that, okay, he's a future star. Obafemi was great in NXT. He came in, had a match with Cody last year, lost, but since then has been pushed to the moon. Didn't win the Royal Rumble, but had a great showing in the Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar eliminated him. Well, now Brock Lesnar, Obafemi have beef. Brings us to WrestleMania. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania, huge shocker. Oba goes over, defeats Brock Lesnar. I don't get the whole Brock Lesnar taking off his gloves and taking off his shoes and socks and retiring in the middle of the ring thing, only to come back 3 weeks later. But, to me, I'm thinking Brock thought he was done, and WWE was like, hey, man, there's more money to be made. Come back. We're going to pay you buckets of money. But with WrestleMania being in Saudi next year, I think Brock Lesnar will be in WWE at least till WrestleMania 43 or 44 or whatever number we're at now. So I would expect Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi because the payday will just be too big. And who can blame him? Hell in a Cell, you have to think Obafemi wins. This is the Hell in a Cell is the way to end the feud. Apparently, Brock Lesnar has really taken a liking to Obafemi. He's been spending a lot of time with Obafemi outside of the ring, discussing the ins and outs of the wrestling business and how things work. Our odds for this match, Obafemi -1,600, Brock Lesnar +600. Those are the same odds as Gunther and Nick Aldis. So Obafemi, the heavy favorite here. The only people I know that think Brock Lesnar wins this match are my two daughters, and that's because they don't really watch wrestling and they know who Brock Lesnar is. So they go, of course Brock Lesnar is going to win. It's Brock Lesnar. Anybody else that watches, everybody's leaning heavy on Obafemi. But what I don't want here is what we've gotten from Brock Lesnar over the course of the last 10 years or his 5-minute squash matches. This is Hell in a Cell. I want to see these two guys go at it and tear each other apart for 15 to 20 minutes. And I don't know if I'm going to be happy if the match ends and at least some portion of that cage is not destroyed. You would have to think with these two monsters in that cage, because I'm not saying that this is going to be a Mick Foley or Shane McMahon type thing. For one, I think Hell in a Cell is way too tall anyway. You're stupid jumping off that thing. I don't see anybody going off the top of Hell in a Cell here. But I'd be shocked if somebody doesn't go through Hell in a Cell here. I would have to think that Brock Lesnar and Obafemi are going to tear that cell apart. And if they don't, I'm going to be mildly disappointed. But I think that this is going to be a fun match to watch as long as they actually get the time to have a match and it not just be a 5-minute couple suplexes, couple F5, kick out. Obafemi does his power bomb stuff. Like, let them work a match. Obafemi can work matches. We've seen him have great matches with Trick Williams and with Javon Evans and those guys on NXT. Let him work. Don't let it be too short. If we get a 5-minute Hell in a Cell, I'm going to be very disappointed. And then you get 5 minutes and then 20 minutes of filler, because that's what we're going to get if we have a 5-minute match. We need less filler. More matches, less filler. Work in your advertisements. I have no issues at all with ads on the ring apron. I know a lot of wrestling fans do, but I grew up watching WCW have Slim Jim turnbuckles at some of their pay-per-views, and they had advertisements on the ring, Slim Jim stuff. I watched boxing. There's Budweiser stuff all over the rings in boxing. I watched the UFC. There's all kind of ads on the UFC. There's always been. And I mean, in the early days of the UFC, before they were big and actually had real people, I mean, Giants and all the, nobody even knows what that is. I watched UFC for years and years and years. I never even looked up what Giants is. But now they actually have real advertisements. And I don't even see it in WWE. The only thing that I see, and I'm like, okay, that's stupid, is the Slim Jim sticker on the table or on the ladder. Okay, now we're starting to get a little bit, that's ridiculous. But there's video boards everywhere. Put your ads up on those video boards out there. Put your ads up on the video ring apron now, because a lot of that's digitized. Put it on that. I don't have to have it, 5-6 minute commercial breaks between matches. And then, you end a match and go to commercial break, and then you do a backstage segment, then you go to commercial break, then you come back and you do another backstage segment, and then you do a long entrance. We want wrestling. We want wrestling. Give us matches. This right here has every opportunity to be one of the most fun matches we could see. I mean, you're not going to see a blood fest in WWE like you will in AEW. It's just not going to happen. If there's going to be blood, it's coming the hard way. But give us some time. Let them work in the ring and give the fans what they want. This is probably the last time Brock Lesnar's ever going to wrestle in Minnesota, because I don't see there being another PLE in Minnesota anytime soon, especially with SummerSlam only drawing about 35,000 per night. So they've probably lost their chance. Maybe SummerSlam doesn't need to be in a football stadium. But our main event of the evening, I would guess this is the main event. Cody and Punk. As of right now, night one is outsold night two. Not quite sure how that works. If you're going to Minneapolis, you'd think that you're going to both nights. I know I have a couple friends there. They're both going to both nights. Punk and Cody for the undisputed WWE Heavyweight Championship. It's an ugly belt. They need a new one. Who wins? This is one that's got the people talking. Face versus face. Sami Zayn defeats CM Punk and Gunther at King of the Ring or Crown Jewel or whatever the shit it was called over in Saudi Arabia. He becomes your WWE champion. He holds the belt for 9 days. CM Punk beats him, wins the title because Gunther took out Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes back in the title picture. These two are now at it. I know some people had a problem with it. I like the way they built it up with Punk flipping the belt over his shoulder and smacking Cody in the face unknowingly and Cody getting pissed. I'd be pretty pissed too. I mean, you know, if you apologize, be like, bro, didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Usually you get over it, but I like it. You got to build it up somehow, some way. There was no build up to Roman and Seth other than Seth just coming out, but we'll get to that tomorrow. Punk and Cody, it's time. It's time for Cody Rhodes to turn into Homelander. Does Cody have some kind of deal with The Rock? If you remember last year, The Rock wanted Cody Rhodes' soul. He did the 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes did the 3. Who knows? But I wouldn't hate it if Cody aligned himself with The Rock and we got a corporate Cody who's like a Homelander and he turned heel. If Cody Rhodes isn't turning heel, I want CM Punk to remain undisputed champion. The only way I want to see that belt going to Cody here is if we get a heel turn. I like Cody Rhodes. I think he's a great babyface. But at some point, he's got to turn. It's kind of getting stale now. And if Cody Rhodes is going to continue as a main event player, he needs to be heel. And I think him aligning himself with The Rock and doing stuff, you know, maybe what they wanted with the Cena turn, because that Cena turn last year was absolute trash. Because Rock got Cena to turn, and then we never saw Rock again. If Rock's going to be a part of TKO and WWE at some point, he needs to be there. But hey, let's turn Cody heel. He can be your new undisputed champion, and then go on to face the likes of Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, you know, whoever, if Sami Zayn turns back face or whatever the case may be. But I don't know if they're ready for CM Punk to turn heel, but you would have to think that in this match, somebody turns heel. How will they do it? Will it be the right one? Your odds right now, CM Punk is your favorite, -400, Cody +250. So CM Punk is favored to win the match. I'm not putting a lot into that, though. I don't know. I think a Cody heel turn, Cody wins the title. Either that or Punk wins and then Cody turns later and they continue the feud. So who knows? But night one, SummerSlam. I'm going to watch it. I'm ready for it. I'm pumped. Would like to see at least one, maybe two more matches on the card. WWE has way too big of a roster to not have more matches on these PLEs. Case in point, where the hell are the tag team titles? The Vision, Damian Priest and R-Truth. You have two sets of men tag team titles, neither one being defended on a two-night SummerSlam. You don't even need 2 sets of tag team titles because it's bullshit. You only need one. I mean, hell, I don't think you need 2 champions. There should only be one. Should be one women's champion. There should be one men's champion. And then you have your other belts mean something. Your Intercontinental title can mean something. Your United States title can mean something. And not just be filler. That, I'm not a fan of the open title challenges that they do. Don't like it. Build matches and give them a reason. But with WWE and their lack of giving a shit about tag team wrestling, there's no need to have 2 different sets of tag team titles. So at some point, I want to see the MFT take the titles off R-Truth and Damian Priest. And then there needs to be some sort of unification of tag belts because there's not enough tag teams to go around and WWE doesn't do anything with it anyway. Street Profits just came back. Huge ovation. They've been gone forever. They upset the Vision, win the belts, then turn around and drop it right back to the Vision, and now they're gone. What are we doing? This booking is so Jekyll and Hyde, it's driving me crazy. If you're not part of Judgment Day or the Bloodline, and your name's not Sami Zayn or Cody Rhodes or CM Punk, Triple H pretty much forgets about you pretty quickly. They've got to figure this out. Figure it out. But there you have it. Night 1 SummerSlam. Hey, WWE, TKO, give us some tag team matches for once. We have 2 6-man matches on this card, all in one night. Is that really what we need? Usos versus the Vision for the tag titles. Or Usos versus the Street Profits. MFTs. Give us some tag team wrestling. Long gone are the days of Demolition and the Legion of Doom and the Nasty Boys and the Hart Foundation and the British Bulldogs and the Fabulous Roju Brothers. Like, give us something. Come on, man. Night 1 SummerSlam. I hope it's a banger. Fingers crossed. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. See you next time right here on Markout Moments.